Hello and welcome to the Dominion Daily for August 10th, 2025. It is Sunday Fun Day. We have Dungeon Offers Insight. I don't know actually what that means. When you gain this, +1 card at the end of the turn. Oh yeah, okay. Have seen that effect before, just didn't remember what it was called. So, full random kingdom, featuring a lot of sideways things. Wolf Den and Harsh Winter. Oh. Oh wait, Wolf Den isn't wall. Okay, that's fine. I don't know why. For a second, I was thinking wall, and then I was like, "Oh my gosh!" But no, this is fine. It looks like student is the only trashing, which is not ideal, but might be fine. Draw is Royal Galley and Carnival. I guess Conjure goes into your hands, so it does increase hand size, but then you play it and it is a stop card, so it, I don't know. But in conjunction with Dungeon, I suppose you could sort of squint and call that a form of draw. Oh, and speaking of Dungeon, the actual thing that it does to be draw is the Offers Insight, +1 card at the end of the turn. In conjunction with being hasty as well. It's pretty good. But yeah, we'll come back to that. But plus actions, Rustic Village, Mountain Village, also Royal Galley, the duration effect. So lots of plus actions. And gains, so we've got plus buy just from collection, and then we've got gains from Conjurer. There's also conceivably gains from Lich, but you'd have to trash, there's no trash or benefit or anything. So student, you could trash something expensive and then trash a Lich and then gain that thing, but that expensive thing that you're beginning isn't going to end up in the trash in the first place, just in a way that is useful. So I guess changelings, you gain changelings from the trash. Okay, so that's the thing you could do, is you could gain changelings, you play them, trash them, and then you could trash a Lich and gain the changeling back. So that's something, I suppose. I don't expect to actually do that, but you could do it. There's also Band of Nomads. So Band of Nomads can be a number of things. Draw, plus actions, plus buy. The thing is, you need to get favors from student. So there's definitely limits to that. And it can also be awkward timing. Conjurer is getting plus action in your buy phase, for example, obviously not very useful. And getting plus card in your buy phase is also often not what you want. Although, I mean, obviously sometimes there are, you have a junk card or whatever you want to cycle through. But really Conjurer is the card that benefits from this here, because you can, make it non-terminal or make it draw a card or whatever. So I guess Conjure, I was talking about Conjure as a kind of sort of form of draw. If you combine that with Band of Nomads, it really does start to actually look like it can be a draw card sometimes. Or at least, yeah, well, because you play it and it's not a stop card, and then the next turn you put it in your hand and that's +1 card. Anyway, we've also got Harsh Winter. That I don't know what to say about that, but basically the goal, of course, we've got collections, so the goal is going to be to play a bunch of collections and then buy a bunch of action cards and score a bunch of points that way. If you can do the changeling thing, collection doesn't care when you gain the action card. So you can use changeling. So in principle, we could actually do that thing I was talking about with Lich, where you play changelings, get the changelings back, play them again, Might be more trouble than it's worth, though. All right, so we start with a Band of Nomads token. And there's also Hasty Dungeon. So there's a lot of early shuffle manipulation stuff. I think what we want to do is just open student dungeon. And then at the start of turn 3, the dungeon will get played. We'll have a 6-card hand. So we'll see. We'll be seeing 6 out of our 11 cards. We could use the Nomads token. We could actually. We could buy. So we're gonna open student, right? We could use the Nomads token immediately, draw a card here, trigger a shuffle, and then odds are we don't see the student. But if we do, well, okay. But assuming we don't, the Hasty Dungeon is still like going to then help us find the student the next turn, and also just like help us cycle the deck and all that. The reason I would want to potentially use Band of Nomads turn 1 is because if we use it turn 2 after getting the dungeon, then we could draw the student dead, essentially, because it would already be past the point where we could play the student. Whereas if we use it now, we can't draw it dead because we can't draw it at all. The alternative is to just save the token and, like I said, like plan to use it on Conjure or something. So if we don't trigger the shuffle, I mean, triggering the shuffle has the advantage that we definitely won't bottom deck the student because it will be in the top. Like, even if we don't see it turn 2, it will be in the next 5 cards. So, like, we definitely cannot bottom deck it. And that's probably worth it. So I think we'll just go for that. Oh, 2/5. Well, if they don't get a student on that 5-coin hand and we can rotate, that's that could be pretty bad for the bot. Anyway, let's get that dungeon. Oh, we're going to actually, I didn't even realize we're actually going to trigger shuffle all of this. I mean, that's fine, especially because student top decks itself anyway, but. Oh, you could also just exchange the dungeon. That's funny. We could go. Well, there's a chance anyway that we could go straight for. Oh no, wait, no, Band of Nomads. Oh no, wait, we don't get to draw the card until we gain something. Never mind. This is not Fellowship of Scribes. We're gonna have this dungeon in play, so I'm not necessarily feeling a need to like top deck the student by trashing copper. So I think we do this. We're definitely rotating. It would be nice to play another dungeon, but getting a Conjurer seems pretty good. There's a lot of things that Conjurer can gain, including more dungeons, if that's what we want. Oh wait, I was saying the dungeon, but no, we played the... Yeah, we played the dungeon. Oh yeah, we don't even necessarily want another dungeon this turn. Well, if we conjure a dungeon... Yeah. Okay, we're definitely getting a Conjurer. We conjure a dungeon, we'll get the dungeon effect, like, as if we had gained a dungeon anyway, because it'll be hasty. Well, then, no, that's not quite true. But whatever. It doesn't matter. Alright, so now... We could... We could trash Copper and then conjure, but it doesn't really work, right? If we conjure something and we use plus card, we can't actually play the student, and if we use plus action, then we don't have the student in hand. So I think we do just go ahead and trash Estate again. Do we rotate off of Conjurer as well? I think we do. I think, like, I would like one more than one Conjurer, but I would like the bot not to have one more than I would like to have another one. Even though there's Wolf Den. We can eventually rotate back, of course. But yeah, I think we go ahead and take another dungeon. Find nothing. Well, it does get another collection. Okay, so... I really would like to buy a collection. Unfortunately, we have another dungeon down there. Otherwise, what I would do is just Band of Nomads for a card. Like, discard Copper Estate. Oh, no, that still doesn't work, does it? Yeah, maybe it's fine. Maybe we just don't get... We do... this... Sorcerer is a fine thing to leave on top. The bot does not have trashing, so if we start cursing them, they'll have a sad time. All right. What do we want now? I mean, we could use a bit of money. Royal Galley right now doesn't look amazing. Activating Harsh Winter doesn't seem obviously to our benefit. So we could just take a silver. We could take an abundance. Abundance is not going to really help us by collection. Well, that's not necessarily true. It's not going to help us by collection next turn. If we get an abundance into play and then we conjure, you know, a mountain village or something, then that does help. But I think it's probably just get a silver to help us hit 5 for collection. And then we should take one of the villages just so that we can start, like, getting Royal Galley stuff going. I'm not sure whether it's in our interest to activate Harsh Winter or not. That's the question. I don't anticipate getting much value out of the Rustic Village cycling, at least in the short term. Maybe in the long term in conjunction with Carnival. Is like knowing that Carnival can draw a unique, so you can like discard a unique and then take one back. Mountain Village has some benefits with Carnival once we get thinner. Right now with Dungeon, it looks kind of bad because Dungeon is going to discard bad cards and then Mountain Village is going to pick them back up. But I mean, Harsh Winter thing, we're going to be gaining more cards because we have the Conjurer. So I think the Harsh Winter is not to our benefit, so I think I'm going to take a mountain village. Okay. You don't get to find the student. I'm going to take a galley and a collection. Do we want to trash before we play the dungeon? I don't think so. We also don't hit 5. Well, whatever, I guess. We could draw the student just to get it off the top of the deck. I don't think that makes sense. How does Band of Nomads... Yeah, you can't do both, which is annoying. I guess we're going to take another mountain village and another galley. Wow. Well, how is this going to interact? I'm not sure. It does get top decked? Hey, alright, well... Crap. That's not what I want. Yeah, seeing 2 galleys, no dungeon, no mountain village here. Not great. I suppose... Suppose we need another silver. Damn it. We're gonna need to play with Sorcerer at some point, I think. Alright. We definitely want to pick up a galley. And then galley, another mountain village. Pick up collection. Now that we have plus actions, we can spend the Nomad's token to draw a card when we play Conjurer. What I had wanted to do. I'm wondering if we should just not bother with student trashing this turn. This should be our other silver. No, wait, no. This is the silver. The other one is in the discard. Okay. So wait, this is probably just another copper? Yeah, I think I'm just gonna take another mountain village. So maybe we do trash copper. Do that. Get another collection. Okay. Let's pick up a collection. Only a mountain village. We have another mountain village down there. But we don't have a galley to go with it, which is annoying. Two, three. So we have 10 coins here. So I think our goal, we want to just get 2 collections, which means take another galley. The bot's probably going to get the last collection here. Yeah. So we did lose the collection split, but we should be able to consistently play 4 collections in a way that the bot should not. I think I would rather just play this versus drawing the coppers I'm about to discard. Another mountain village. We do need to be a little bit careful about piles. Maybe we should take a rustic village. Rustic village will slow the game down, which has to be to our benefit. Alright, well, we definitely need some carnivals. We just take 1 carnival and a sorcerer, or do we take, like, do we want to get going on the cursing? Maybe so. gonna have to take another sorcerer, which is a little silly, but... Alright, so let's galley the Carnival. Discarded a collection. Okay. Galley the Mountain Village. Oh well. Okay, what is down here? We gallied Mountain Village, Carnival. So we have another Mountain Village down there. I'd ideally like to get another galley going, but I guess getting the galley going next turn is fine. So let's just 8 and 5 is 13. Let's just do this. That. Take another galley. Take another Carnival. Take another... Sorcerer. We could also get a Changeling and turn that into a Sorcerer. Like if we buy 2 4s, and then we get more points now. So go like Rustic Village. And... Mountain Village, I guess it doesn't really matter. Or Rustic Village. We do need to finish trashing out these coppers, but... Or, well, I guess we don't need to. We've trashed 4. We're not at the point where we have negative... Our Wolf Town points are coming from Student, Conjurer, now Changeling, and... What else? Oh, Sorcerer, right. Well, we're going to get the Sorcerer. And we're going to get rid of the Changeling, so that's all fine. Now maybe we do want to play the Carnival first. Okay. I'd like to galley this Carnival. Guess we could do... Conjure for galley, draw a card. We could turn it into a Changeling. Maybe we do need to cycle a bit with Rustic Village. Where are frickin' galleys, damn it? I'm gonna galley the rustic village. Alright, I guess it's time to trash another copper. Well, yeah, probably. We kind of use the coin, but... Alright, I think we just buy 3 4s. And then exchange some of them for changelings. Bring in another sorcerer. More rustic villages. How many changelings do we want? Not sure. Maybe 2. One more carnival. Maybe we should have taken 3 changelings. Maybe we would just have a win. Maybe we'll have a win anyway. Discard the student and the silver, maybe? Wait. Why? Oh, I guess I just chose to resolve this without realizing. Okay, fine, whatever. I guess we'll discard Copper Collection. We should be able to get back to that collection one way or another. Oh, there we go. Galley the Carnival. Discarded a mountain village. Okay. There's another galley. Just galley. Sorcerer. All right. We do have another carnival down there. Oh, Harsh Winter just came online. Yeah, that's not going to help our ability to pile out, is it? Yeah. Okay. Well, shoot. I was thinking I needed the time to catch up. It turns out I didn't. Nice. Okay, so we should grab another galley. I mean, okay, what the easiest pile out is Carnival. We have 2 changelings. So maybe we should just grab a silver. We have the draw for that. Or a changeling. Why wouldn't we grab a changeling? Yeah, that's what we grab. Okay. But what we do first, do this, do this. We take a changeling. We don't need any buys. We don't really need this at all. We can play this dungeon, it doesn't matter. All right, so the debt doesn't matter for changeling. So we can take the carnival, and then we can take, like, I don't know, Mountainville, or we could take a band of, no, we should not do that. Whatever, we'll just take another galley and another mountain village, I guess. Oh, there's a cool thing we could have done with the Band of Nomads tokens if it were relevant, which is like exchanging for changelings and then drawing those changelings. We don't need to do that, but yeah, so the bots approach, oh, they did actually get some carnivals and mountain villages towards the end. But the bot's approach of spam collection and dungeon, like, it is interesting. I think if there was less deck control, that would have actually been pretty good. Like, they did get a lot of points from that, and because the dungeon was both hasty and had this +1 card, it does go fast at first. But once the dungeon's piled and it stops drawing cards, then you're decreasing your hand size when you play the dungeon. You are sifting to the collections. That is helpful. But you don't really have that much purchase power to empty a third pile. I didn't end up benefiting from activating Harsh Winter, but it definitely could have also slowed down a pile out from the bot if that was what it was threatening to do. The Changeling thing also increased the ceiling of what my deck was capable of doing. The Sorcerer thing was probably unnecessary. I was like, oh, this will slow them down, but 2 curses, like, whatever. That doesn't really matter too much. And the second curse actually gave them points back off of Wolf Den. But I wonder even if the bot is aware enough to have been like, oh, let me try to guess wrong here. I guess not, because otherwise it could have named Duchy or something that didn't have. But yeah, I think there's enough control here that you do want to build more than what the bot did. But what the bot did was, the board wouldn't have to be too different for that to be viable. The other thing is it had a 5/2 and it didn't want to open Student, and I understand that, but not having any trashing does seem bad. I could see getting along on this board without trashing. Between Dungeon, Carnival, Rustic Village, like, you do end up having some ability to kind of sift through. I mean, like, you don't want to not draw cards with your Carnival, but the fact that it's, like, relative to, like, a Smithy, it sees more cards does mean that, like, if you're not trashed, you are at least, like, moving through your deck. So that has some benefit in that context. But obviously it's going to be better if you are trashed and then it's revealing, 4 uniques and drawing them all up. So I still think you want to be playing with the trashing, but, like, I think you might be able to get away with not trashing if you grab enough of the, like, good components early. but that's not really what the bot did. I'm not sure if it could have done that, and I'm not sure how well it would have worked out. I have my doubts. But I think getting a Conjurer too was really nice. Like, there's just so many good cards to gain with that. Anyway, well, there you have it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.